Yeah. Yeah, monitoring the chat. So Okay, welcome to the Boston Tennis and Racket Club. To all our viewers out there on YouTube, I'm Mark Beaumont, and I'm going to be your commentator today. Sitting here with me is John Edwards in the Hamlin Room in Boston. Hey John, how are you?
Mark, I'm very good. Good to be here.
So we've got a great game. So we've got 3 games today. We've got a game of singles. Josh and Tony just warming up now. Josh Dodgson from Chicago, Tony Hollins from Boston. We've got a game of doubles following that. Again, Chicago versus Boston, and then the game of singles, Steve Vergona versus Camden Riviere. What are you excited to see today, John?
Well, I think I'm very excited to see court tennis live, professional court tennis live and in person. It has been a long time, over the last 14 months, and I think everybody is very excited for this event, which is going to mark the first time that professionals have been on court in 2021.
National League.
That's right. It's been
New England versus Chicago. On the receiving end for New England, Tony Hollins. And on the servers end representing Chicago in this match, Josh Dodgson. All guys, best of 3. Deuce ad, 1 deuce. Have fun.
Here we go.
Up.
Of course, Tony has been practicing quite a lot on this court lately, so he should have the home court advantage. But Josh isn't unfamiliar to this court either. He's played here quite a lot before. So it'll be interesting to see whether Tony can use his home court advantage.
30 love.
Josh, of course, originally a junior at the Seacourt Tennis Club, picked up the game at Seacourt in the UK.
Now, how many pros have come from Seacourt? I don't know how many it is, but it's a lot.
I think he's the only one in this field of competition, but I might be incorrect.
Actually, so Tony came from Seacourt.
Tony
as
also
well.
came from
Yeah, they
Seacourt.
both came from Seacourt, so we've got 2 Seacourters here.
Tony didn't respond to the email.
That's
with
right.
the background information, so I'm
230.
I'm flying blind on that one. Is it a hotbed, Seacourt?
So there were a whole bunch of pros that came out of Seacourt,
Better than the door.
and these guys would have known each other from back then, so they know each other's game pretty well. So let's have a look now.
Turn 4.
Tony's been doing a lot of training with Camden Riviere, of course.
Very, very controlled backhand from Tony there over the net.
Well, I was watching him warm up beforehand, and that was something that he was doing a lot of practice on just on his own. And I know he's been on court a lot, doing cross-court backhands with a lot of cut back into the corner. So it'll be interesting to see whether he uses that as his weapon throughout this game.
15 to the server. Better than the
Now,
door.
out of these 2 guys, you would favour Tony as the stronger player. But we'll see how that plays out under the pressure of the live game. There's a mistake from Tony there, putting the serve onto the back roof.
Right into last gallery.
Yeah, and there's a chip for Josh into the last gallery.
Better than 4. Out of court. 40-30.
Okay, so it's a pretty tight game so far.
Quite the shot there into the tambour.
So for anybody who's not familiar with the format, we're going to play the singles games are 2 sets up to 6. If a tiebreaker set is needed, you play a set that starts at 3 games all. Oh, great shot there from Tony.
And we can say hi to David Tedeschi and Ben Gatenbeek, both of whom are live in the chat and have questions for us.
That's great. So we love people in the chat. Hi from Cambridge, UK. Great to see Real Tennis is back. Hi, Ben.
How are you, Ben? As they change sides, Dave Tedeschi asks us, what's the line on the match? And the over-under on winning galleries. So, I haven't seen a winning gallery yet, but I think
Receiver's
we'll
advantage.
see
Second gallery.
2 winning galleries from Hollins and 1 from Dodgson.
That's your bet, is it?
That's my bet.
Okay.
2 from Hollins, 1 from Dodgson.
Okay, I'm going to go 4 from Hollins and 3 from Dodgson then. Oh, that was nearly 1 then.
Oh, look at that. Speak of the winning gallery, and they aim for it.
Now, we're only playing 1 deuce unless we get to a tiebreaker. So this is game point. Oh, an attacking main wall dead-ons there from Tony. Great shot.
So only playing 1 deuce, meaning match ball at 40 all.
Exactly.
Sorry, game ball.
It'll go to deuce, then somebody can go to advantage, but after that it's game ball. So that was an aggressive shot from Tony. Look how far forward he's standing on the court.
Thank you. Great kiss, Josh.
Really forcing Dodgson to
What's up?
dig balls out of the back.
Well, that was always going to be the thing with Tony, whether he was going to sit back or really take this game on. Now, the format of this competition is that every game scores 2 points for the player's team. So Tony will want to be attacking this and get 2 points on the scoreboard for New England.
Last.
Hitting that last gallery.
He does look very aggressive, doesn't he?
He has been confident and poised in his shots.
Second.
2 last galleries in a row. I'd like to say hello to Rhett Riviere, who's in the chat. Apparently it's cold and raining in Aiken. Well, it's cold and sunny up here in Boston. So, hello to Rhett.
It's not too bad, is it? It's not. It's pretty bright out there. I think the court, it's fair to say that it's cool, but not cold. It's about 65 degrees here today in Boston.
I always mispronounce Cameron's name.
His surname,
Riviere.
Well, I've got an English accent, so I say it differently anyway.
15 all.
And
Second
then
gallery.
Kevin has he's from the South, so that's another.
That's another thing on it.
Yeah.
So how long have you been playing the game, John?
About 10 years now.
Okay.
Maybe 11 even. I started here in Boston in 2009, 2010 under Jimmy Burke.
Okay, the pro for many years here in the Boston club. Have you played on any other courts?
I have played every court in the U.S. except the one on Long Island.
Okay.
I have never played Chicago, and I have never played Aiken. So those are on my list.
Game. 1 game all.
We have a visit from Tom Dobbins,
From the Tom Dobbins, the legendary Tom Dobbins,
manager of the TNR here in Boston. This is the commentary booth, Tom. Say hello to the audience. We've got Dave Tedeschi, Rhett Riviere, Ben Gatenbeek, and countless others.
Tiger Revere? Did you say?
Rhett.
Oh, Rhett. Yeah, that's
The official feed of the Racket Club of Philadelphia. I mean, that's practically everybody in court tennis, all 150 of us.
You guys have the charisma to keep everyone enthralled. Sorry for
I mean, luckily Mark knows something about court tennis. Otherwise, this would just be me riffing.
Oh, another aggressive shot from Tony.
40 love.
Right into the tambour.
Right into the tambour, 6 inches from the floor. So he looks up for this Tony. This is about as focused as I think I've ever seen him. Oh, that's a great main wall dead-ons.
40.
There's nothing you can do about that. And there's game.
Shot from Tony. I will say I know from speaking to Tony over the last couple of months that he's been excited for this event. He had some shoulder issues, I believe last year, that he was able to resolve during the pandemic, and excellent date on from Dodgson. He's been training for this event, and he's been looking forward to it. So Tony is back in action after a shoulder injury that plagued him for some time, and I think he's looking to make a name for himself.
Well, I do know he's been playing quite a lot of squash. I wonder if squash with the lighter rackets and the lighter ball is a good way of working a shoulder back from an injury like that. Because this is the rackets in this game are very heavy, so are the balls.
30-15.
So one of the things, I have been playing a lot of squash lately due to a elbow issue, and it has been a lot easier on my wrist, on my elbow, help me maintain the fitness. I think Tony saw me playing squash and just thought it was so cool.
he thought
he
would copy you.
He had to get into the game.
All right, so we've got a chase there, worse than 3.
We also have hello to Pete Dickinson and Rob Whitehouse, the Racket Club of Philadelphia. Good to see you guys.
Oh, the wonderful Rob Whitehouse. They organise some great competitions in Philadelphia.
Worse than 4.
Are there competitions? I usually go to the party.
I don't think I've ever performed well on the tennis court the night after one of their parties, I'll say that.
Well, Robbie generally puts me at 8 a.m. on the Sunday, so that's I don't even have to get the draw. I know that I'm playing at 8 a.m. on Sunday after the...
That's punishment for you, is it?
All right, 30-15 to the receiver.
It's sort of from that
Worse
White
than
House of
3.
pain, sort of. He thinks it's a gift. He thinks he's doing me a service.
Well, Rob, thank you for everything you do. Look how far Tony's up the court again.
And really getting the racket
40,
prep.
15
I mean,
worse.
that was textbook body positioning, racket positioning. He was a little far up the court there.
Yeah, he just misread that. I was going to hit the tambour. And one of the interesting things about the Boston tambour is the ball doesn't come that quickly off the tambour compared to some of the other courts. So it does give the pros a chance to attack it. It's about average in terms of angle. It's not as shallow as Tuxedo.
What's that? It's game. 3-1.
All right, Tony's taking a bit of a lead, 3-1.
Good in 3.
You wonder if a marker like Tim Chisholm can be totally unbiased when watching his former protege on the court in Josh Dodgson.
Yeah, I wonder. Although these guys all know each other so well. I think that was it. Tony was trying for main wall dead-ons then and just missed it.
For those watching at home, Though Josh Dodgson's shirt says Philadelphia on the back, he is currently playing for the Chicago team, Rugby Club of Chicago.
So what's the story there? Why is he wearing a Philadelphia shirt? Do you know that?
He is also playing for. He is playing for another team. I believe it's also Philadelphia.
Okay.
And so I think he just has mixed up his wardrobe. It's a kit error.
Well, it's very confusing for the commentators.
Well, that's what we are here to straighten it out for the viewing public.
40-15 in a chase.
I tell you what, Tony is playing a lot of great short chases. That one didn't come off, but it was because Josh didn't return it.
And
but he's really attacking these corners.
And he's being very aggressive about getting to his water on the hazard side as he changes sides. So he's if I think about that in terms of body positioning and aggressiveness, he's really ready to go take the server side.
I think that's right, isn't it? He seems to have a purpose about him when he's changing ends.
He's not just grabbing a beer out of the box.
That's right, like we do on Friday night doubles, yeah.
Sometimes Saturday morning.
15-40.
The Aussies were very surprised at that style of play when we did that at the Boomerang.
At the social side of the event.
Correct.
Oh, I don't know if they would be that surprised. I remember we used to call it the Melbourne warm down and have a couple of beers after a game.
Oh, we'd have them during.
That's the Boston warm up, is it?
Before there was Gatorade, you needed the carbohydrates to kind of refuel. We have John Ioli and Dan Nagler also in the chat. Hello, John. Hello, Dan.
Dan says, give us your best boy band from the pros playing this week. That's a tough question. Did anybody else on the chat answer that?
Yeah, put that to the chat. Put together your best boy band. I mean, if I'm Josh Dodgson, I go off on my own like Harry Styles. I think that's...
I'll tell you what I will say is that I was watching John Lumley play this morning, and that guy got to the end of all his games. He didn't have a hair out of place.
Well, he never does.
He looked immaculate. It was immaculate coming off the court as he went on it.
I'd like to take a moment to recognize our sponsors, Garnier, Garnier Fructus, and Crew Hair Gel. When you want to look like John Lumley on court, that's the hair gel to use.
In fact, it might be worth recapping for the audience how we did this morning. So this is the second match of the day. This morning was New York against Philadelphia, and that was 2-1 to New York. So Kemp defeated Asher, New York defeated Philadelphia in the doubles, and Lumley defeated Stout. So that's means that New York have already got 4 points, and Philadelphia have got 2. 5 points. Sorry, Ryan's correcting me. 5-2 in points at the moment.
Again, Tony walking with purpose to change ends.
Look, he can't get down the other end quick enough.
And he's got a water in the box, and then he's got another water. So he's doubly hydrated.
So what do you think's going on there? Why has he got 2 bottles of water? Now, I don't know if the viewers can see this, but Camden is actually in the galleries there, giving Tony a little word when he changes round.
Gallery. Thanks, Josh.
So
John Ioli has said, like the Pope in the chair of St. Peter. The marker is infallible and beyond reproach.
Second serve.
The market is always infallible. And
If
beyond
ever there were a
reproach.
St. Peter of court tennis, I believe it's Tim Chisholm.
What? 15:30. 3 and 4.
So I'm just watching Camden in the gallery there. He is laser focused on every ball.
Won it. Forward.
Camden
3.
and Tony have turned up to win this. There is a purpose about what they're doing.
30 all.
Score is 30 all. 4-1 Tony Hollins.
And a great force there.
That's a classic date on force.
Right into the top right hand corner.
Last gallery chase by
So-
Josh.
So we've seen quite a few last gallery chases now. It feels to me that both of these guys really want to be up the service end.
And we didn't even need to keep track and do all of our
20:30
statistic
to the
taking.
server. Last gallery.
We had big ambitious plans to track every single point for the viewing audience.
Lost it.
He missed it.
Lost the chase.
Okay. 2 games to 4.
Right, 2-4.
4 games to 2. 2 games to 4 server.
Another main wall dead-ons from Tony.
Thanks, Josh.
I don't think we've seen a double fault quite yet in this match.
I don't think we have.
We certainly have seen a lot of last gallery chases.
Oh, they got the school one. Come on. This got 30 luck. This one.
So Tony has been returning a lot of serves with cut volleys. Oh, just missed that one.
Excellent.
15:30.
And I know that that's something that Tony has been working on.
All.
He likes to attack the serve now, not let it bounce. Try and minimize the amount of time that his opponent's got to get back across the court. Another last gallery chase.
Another last gallery chase.
It's funny that Tom Dobbins was in here before. So, for anybody who doesn't know, Tom Dobbins is the CEO of the Boston Tennis and Racket Club. And in the early 80s, the club was having a really hard time. The only way they managed to keep the club afloat was by hiring out the second floor as a nightclub on Friday evenings. And apparently these nightclub nights got pretty legendary. And it got to, it got to the point where they had to hire Boston police officers to be the security for the nights. So these nights became really legendary. I think they had the name the Ben-Hur Nights. And that was what got the club through its difficult days. It was down to about 40 members in the early 80s, and there was a group of people that managed to keep it afloat.
After the classic film Ben-Hur.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was the last man standing.
Well,
That's why the club's still here. So we should have got Tom Dobbins to talk about the Ben Hur nights while he was on the while he was in the room here.
30 all.
Of course, the Tennis and Racket Club was built in 1902. It's actually the 5th court in Boston.
the 5th court.
Yeah, do you know that?
I did not know that.
So there was one in Back Bay that was demolished and replaced with 2 in Back Bay, and then there was also one in Harvard University. The one in Harvard University is still there,
40, 30.
but it's been converted into administrative offices now.
Gotcha.
Out of court. Deuce.
Well, I suppose that's not as dire a story as what happened in France, where they tore down all the courts and cut most of the players' heads off.
That's right.
You know.
Yes, as far as I know, no court tennis players had their heads cut off in Boston.
Advantage.
Maybe at the Ben Hur night. We don't know.
That's
And we
right,
have to
maybe
get Tom
that-
here to tell us about Ben Hur night and whether or not anybody was decapitated.
Oh, there's a lovely volley from Tony. Oh, no more dead-ons. Well done, Josh.
So this goes back to 40 all.
Game ball.
So
This is his 1 deuce.
this is game ball.
Back into that last gallery.
Last gallery.
So just to recap for the viewers, Tony went ahead with the advantage. Josh evened it out, and now we play game ball.
And now we play game ball. All right, now we've got a guest coming into the commentary box. All right, we'll just watch them play at this point.
Last gallery.
Ladies
so
and
it's-
gentlemen, we'd like to welcome to the commentary box Barney Tanfield.
Gentlemen, great to be with you. Very exciting match here. An even more exciting event. But wonderful to join you in the commentary booth here.
Well, it's fantastic to have you here. What do you think's going through these guys' minds at the moment? Are they nervous? Are they excited? How do you think they're approaching this game?
I think there's a bit of all that happening. I'll definitely start with the implications of this match are profound toward the event. On one side of the New England team, you have Camden, who hasn't lost a match outside of a world championship in almost 10 years. And in fact, that last match was against John Lumley in Newport, probably about 8 or 9 years ago in National League. And on the other side, we have our wild card and our hero, hopefully, Tony Hollins, who has been battling injury over the last few years and really getting his legs under him and looking fantastic thus far.
Well, we were just saying that he had a shoulder injury, as I understand it, and he used squash as his way of getting his shoulder back to full health. I think he's also been doing some weights with that shoulder, but he's looking pretty aggressive today, I would say.
Yeah, he's definitely. We were lucky to have Tony in New York a few weeks ago, and I could tell then that he's a different person than he has been over the last few years, and it's great to have Tony back and playing to the level that he's capable of.
He's walking with determination, we were saying, as he changes ends. He's a man with a purpose.
I think anyone that's dedicated as much time to this event as he has, there's a lot on the line here, and
First and 5.
when you have the best player of our current age looking over your shoulder, there's some heavy weight there. So I know he wants to perform well, and thus far he's looking pretty darn good. Although I see Dodgson catching up on the score here a little bit. Oh, sorry, maybe it's changing.
You've obviously been a pro. How long have you been a pro for in New York?
Actually, May this year was my 10th year in New York, and I did about 6 years in Philadelphia prior to that. And luckily enough, Josh is one of our great employees there. He's playing a bit of a hybrid role this week. I heard you guys talking about it. Pretty funny. He doesn't know which uniform to wear, but at least his trousers fit proper. I mean, it's been an issue with some English guys over the years.
And so when you travel then here from New York, how do you find this court compares to New York?
Well, they have walls and a floor and a net, but I would say that this game is a lot like golf in many ways, and the golf I grew up playing on the public courses in Philadelphia with the burnout cars and the lakes and stuff like that, slightly different than those that Augusta might have, let's say.
Is that the kind of place where the beer guy drives up in a cart and sells you tall boys?
They'll sell you something. It probably wasn't tall boys, but
Like that pitch and putt out by LaGuardia, the one over by Forest Hills. I spent a lot of time at that par 3.
I would say that's quite an affluent place, but anyway.
Into the net.
A little atypical of what's been going on thus far.
So the internet tells me that the 10th anniversary gift is made from tin or aluminum. Did you get anything for your 10th anniversary at the R&T?
My club is extremely generous, and I'm lucky to work there, but I haven't had any precious metal exchange yet.
No precious metal.
I thought we were actually referring to my wedding anniversary, and I'm starting to sweat a little bit. But
Is it also your 10-year wedding anniversary?
It's coming up. But anyway, a shout out to my wife, Crystal, who carrying a very heavy load back home right now. So thank you very much, dear.
He's aware, Krista, that tin or aluminum is the 10-year anniversary gift traditionally.
That's right. I'll get you a gift card. Couple shout outs though while I have you guys. A massive shout out again to the man on the receiving side, Tony Hollins. The vision and execution of this event is just spectacular. We have not seen anything like this in this game, and I've been around it for almost a quarter of a century, I'd say. As is always true when you come here, Janice and Tom do fantastic work, and I can only encourage you to come to Boston if you don't know as much. On top of that, especially in the COVID era and people wanted to be careful and above board, the support of the president, Matt Mitchell, has just been fantastic. And lastly, the members of the club and the members of the committee who have made this happen. This is such a special event and really appreciated by the professionals. So just wanted to get that one off my chest nice and early. You guys are amazing. Thank you.
Oh, look, I know people will appreciate you saying that. And thank you from everybody to the members who've given up their court for a week such that this event can take place. And we've also had some quite generous financial contributions as well in order to make this happen. So I'm sure the members will appreciate you saying that, Barney.
I'm sure they'll want their court back after this. I know when I was younger and got to see some of the top play that will personify this week, I was always very excited to jump on court.
Mm-hmm.
I remember sticking around nice and late after a U.S. Open final and really just holding a filibuster for the next few hours on court, trying to emulate. But anyway, that'll be tough this week.
We have a couple of questions from the chat.
Very excited.
Winston Simone asks, is Josh allowed to hang out with Team New York this week, or is he being separated? I heard he's sleeping on one of the couches in the locker room. That's where he is laying his head this week.
I think that thus far it's been fine. As of tomorrow, there may be some conflicts of interest, particularly if I lose. And we're going to reassess that situation. So, Winston, thank you for bringing that to light.
Tony just had a heck of a game.
That's unbelievable.
He's really moving around the court very quickly.
5-4 here to Tony, up 15 love. That's good execution there. Make him pay on that meanwhile miss.
Another question from David Tedeschi. Is Barney saying that the R&T is Augusta and the TNR is a public Philly course?
I thought Mr. Tedeschi was a educated, informed. I thought he was a lawyer even. So to mispersonify me that much, I mean, he must be a lawyer actually.
He is indeed a lawyer.
No, I think it was more along the lines of.
Frankly, to take your words so out of context like that, you think he was almost a politician.
Does anyone else know a lawyer in here? That's almost defamation right there. Mr. Mitchell? Anyone? All right, never mind. Dave, come in and see us.
Oh, that was a great shot. So Tony's been working a lot on his backhand with a lot of cut on it. I've seen him on court practicing a lot, just throwing balls up on the penthouse, doing cross court into the backhand corner. And I've seen him using that a lot today as a weapon.
I think as you progress in the game, the ability to win and apply pressure on your backhand is just essential. And I think the Tony of the last couple of years probably hasn't been able to apply that pressure in the way that he's capable of. And I think
40 left to the receiver. Last gallery.
That cut volley he just took off that Miss Meanwhile dead on and rolled it around the neck is a testament to how good he can be.
So we are in a set point scenario here, aren't we?
Game and the first set.
And there's the first set.
First set. Tony Hollins.
And just while we're starting up a new set then, Barney, so we've seen a lot of last gallery chases, and that was another last gallery chase there. I presume that's because these guys will both want to be up the service end and they're quite happy setting a last gallery chase to get up the other end of the court. Is that right?
I think it's definitely right, and particularly as Josh won't be quite as familiar with the court as Tony. Tony will be wanting to command the service end for manipulating the tambour, the hit or miss, meanwhile roll around the edge of the tambour. And on the other side of it, Josh is like what's the right word? He loves the railroad serve. He's particularly accomplished at it. And so Josh is loving the service side for his railroad. Tony's loving the service side for the geography of the court.
And Tim is currently loving what appears to be, I thought was a Four Loko, but is actually just an energy drink.
I mean, things are becoming legal again in different places. I think, Massachusetts, pretty liberal state. If they go the Four Loko route, it'll be interesting. But
it's a C4 energy drink. I mistook it for a Four Loko.
I think it's the same thing. They just changed the label, probably.
Makes sense.
So just for the people listening, your marker here today is Tim Chisholm from the Tuxedo Club, who somehow is managing to mark and sew a ball and drink an energy drink all at the same time. So
maybe it's because of the energy drink that he can focus on the match and sew the ball.
It's really embarrassing when he starts doing that when he's playing you and he still beats you. So I guess these guys are lucky. I mean, half the time you play Tim, he barely looks like he's awake until one comes in 150 past your ear. One of the best,
He does like to put pace on the ball.
one of the purest hitters of the ball in the history, no doubt. Anyone out there from the international side?
40-15 to
We
the serve,
have-
second gallery.
We do have, I'm going to mangle this last name, but Ben Gatenbeek from Cambridge, UK
Oh,
is
fantastic.
in the chat.
Like to hear from you international folks. We miss you. One of these days we'll see you again, I think. Sooner than later, I guess, now.
Solid grill from Tony
First game,
Hollins.
second set.
And it's just coming up to about 7 a.m. in Melbourne, Australia. So maybe we might get some Melbourne people online shortly.
Yeah, they're maniacs out there. They're probably just getting in from the nightclub. Right?
That's right.
They may have been at the Gin Palace. Dinner at Sing Sing, then the Gin Palace.
Morning yard worse.
It'll be interesting. This first couple games here, really interesting. See what happens. I think if I were a betting man, I'm gonna have to say this goes to 3 sets.
Yeah.
Why do you think that?
So we had a request earlier for an over/under on winning galleries, and I said 2 for Hollins, 1 for Dodgson.
Winning galleries, I try and stay away from because it's probably the most sought after shot in the game.
Yes.
And
Team up.
gets punished the most when you miss it. So, just from a teaching perspective, I'll stay away from winning galleries. But I think that maybe an interesting line would be from this point onward, what are the games going to be? I think this is going to 3, gents. I mean, obviously, you guys are partisans.
Well, in that first set, Tony took a bit of a man lead, and Dodgson came back and seemed to find his footing, but Tony closed it out. I could see Dodgson pulling ahead in this set. I could see it going to 3.
I think,
Third and second.
Josh, since he's been with us in New York, has become a bit more of an aggressive player, a little bit more take it to you, which is actually what Tony's been sort of really capitalizing on thus far. So let's see here. My bet is this goes to 3. After that, I'm staying away from betting.
15 all.
And no comment
More
on the
than a yard
over/under
worse
on winning
than the left.
galleries.
I'd say if we see 3 more in the match, I'd be surprised. These guys are locked in. They're not going to go winning gallery unless they're north of Chase 5 on the main wall side. So I think everyone knows what's at stake there. Winning gallery miss here is probably losing the point or conceding the service end. So
And when you say north of Chase 5, you mean between Chase 5 and the net.
that's what I would say that. Technically that might be west. I'm not so good. I'll get my astrolabe out here.
There's that last gallery again. Tony wanting the service end.
It's always a little bit
40,
humbling.
30.
What happened? It just clipped the corner, I think, as it came off.
He's got this wild underarm twist
Game.
that I haven't seen many guys really embrace it as much as he has. But he serves it pretty well. And I think like what you're looking at there is, can he make Tony hit one off the back wall rather than cutting it down to a yard every time, or can he stop Tony from successfully forcing? Which even that will be a win for him. Meanwhile, Bo said he can get back. Gallery, though. I mean, Tony's committed to the game plan. That's the good news, guys.
Yeah.
So I know him and Camden were discussing the game plan before the match. For the viewers out there, you might still be able to see Camden just down the side gallery there, still keeping an eye on what's going on.
Looks like he's wearing a winter jacket to me. I think it's a little aggressive. I know he's from down south, but
Is that a
This,
hoodie?
this must feel cold to him.
he's channeling the Chisholm with the hoodie over there. Looks like Floyd Mayweather.
Last gallery, no
winter jacket.
strokes.
like celebrity court tennis? I know you mentioned Mayweather is going to be fighting one of the Paul brothers, a YouTube star. Should we get some new blood into court tennis by maybe having Camden play a Jake Paul? What do you think?
Yeah, that would be interesting, you know. Maybe like a Conor McGregor. Or
Conor
something
McGregor?
Like that, yeah.
McGregor? Should it be maybe a crossover from another popular sports personality like Jose Canseco?
I think he would be ideal, probably. I mean, I don't know if he's going the boxing route yet, but you know, he would definitely.
So I had been thinking of this the wrong way. Shouldn't we really see Camden fight Jose Canseco in a boxing match? I mean, that's really the true draw. I think the USCTA, USCTPF membership would certainly want to see an event like that.
I certainly would. I knew that. So 1-1 here. 15-all. So both these guys, though, going with, you know, heavy on the railroads at one stage and now switching it up to the underarm twist to the sidewall.
Mm-hmm.
Really trying to prevent that first bang off the return. You know, I definitely think when we're talking about courts, the severity of spin isn't quite as much here. It's more about length. And you're looking at two very fine retrievers here. So I think the importance of stopping that first accurate force is starting to be the theme of the return to serve here.
So Camden and Tony have been training a lot together, and Camden's known for his court coverage. I'm just wondering if a little bit of that has rubbed off on Tony, because he seems to be moving very quickly around the court.
I think that's that benefit of the squash training. I really think that, you know, the best players in this game at some stage go through this sort of squash training route.
Mm-hmm.
I remember early 2000s being in Melbourne when Rob Fay worked there, and he was training with Rory Gunn, and these guys would just go at it for a couple hours on the tennis court, follow it up with an hour and a half on the squash court, and really more and more I see a lot of it. Obviously James is a very accomplished squash player. I think Steve Vergona plays a pretty good game of squash as well. Camden, I know, plays a relatively good game of squash. There's a lot of good crossover. The only sort of negative side is that, you know, a lot of the playing squash is nowadays played open stance, and in real tennis, really, you should be getting into that closed stance, stepping into the walls rather than stepping to the net, in my opinion.
You've got to have your weight going forward, haven't you?
Yeah.
You can get away with it with the smaller light ball.
Oh, there's a winning gallery.
There is the first winning gallery of the day.
There we go.
Of the match. So currently 1-0 Hollins Dodgson in winning galleries.
Well, Tony's, I think that's the third time I've counted him shooting for the winning gallery, but only the first time he's hit it. I think your point, Barney, about it's a high risk shot if you miss is quite well made.
Now, having said that, no one likes a winning gallery more than
3-1, second set.
more than the crowd and the pros themselves. So it's a little bit, it's tough, you know. It's like the dog on the fence, you know, at the electric. We're all friends here.
Dodgson maybe taking out a hint of aggression.
I think Dodgson thought he was going backhand corner, and Tony thought he was going backhand corner, and then it didn't quite happen that way.
Another high serve.
That's a good shot, and Tony really playing that well.
So why do you think they've eased up on the railroads now, Barney?
I think it's that main ball dead on doesn't come throttling at you.
Mm-hmm.
The ball has not been staying down. It's active off the back. Sets up really nicely for a force, and like you see right there, you know, You got to deal with that ball coming, a lot of pace, a lot of errors come out of it. Yeah, so again, like the theme of how do you stop the guy from forcing on the first ball is very relevant here.
Just starting to see a few more forces coming from Josh.
I'd be disappointed not to get that onto the floor. He's a good fighter, Josh, but he's got to bring it together here.
If you were allowed to coach him, what would you be telling him right now?
I would say play aggressive. I think this one where, like, that's a great shot of his down the line off the volley. I think go main wall and miss. I would say, you know, the temptation here is, can I get comfortable chipping it down the backhand side? I think he needs to put a little more action on that ball. But he's got to realize that on the ground strokes, he's losing a lot of points here. So, you know, I don't think being complacent and conservative is really got to be his route. Seems to be effective there.
Would you recommend he cut his hair?
Well, he shaved his mustache, which I think is a massive plus. I think Kat finally got him, like, do you know what I mean? Like,
I recently shaved my mustache.
I mean, I'm glad you did. Josh, you know, we have COVID protocols to get in the door, and actually the security stopped him a few times because he looked suspicious. So, you know, thankfully we don't have to worry about that anymore.
30-15.
Hair-wise, you know, he's got a great head of hair, so. Heard you guys talking about the hair earlier.
Well, we were talking about Lumley's hair and how it sort of always stays right exactly where it began the match.
Unbelievable, you know?
I mean, he must be sponsored by, I don't know, Axe or Garnier, maybe L'Oreal. I don't even know who makes hairspray. Depp. Aquanet.
He's definitely in that caliber of hair model, I would say. But
does he use the club classics? You know, in the locker room, they've always got the club classic. Do you think he's a club classic guy?
I don't know. I think he's got that new special stuff. I don't even know about it.
Was that another winning gallery? Or was that a replay?
I think that was a replay there.
Sorry to the watching audience. Ryan replayed the winning gallery from earlier, and looking in one of my multiple feeds, I mistook that for a live shot.
So, guys, what are you guys looking forward to on the competition side? You know, it sounds like the fall we're going to see some events,
30-15.
some USCTA
the server.
events.
Better than 6.
I guess Boston hosts the Sears Cup occasionally in the fall. Is that on the table at all, or?
I think that, so I sit on the tennis committee here in Boston, and I think that people really missed tennis during the pandemic, and I think there's a new energy in the club to want to get stuff done and want to give people an excuse to get on the court. I think within Boston the tennis community has grown quite significantly over the last few years, and there are a lot of people now who, of all standards, that just enjoy the game. I think it's a lovely community of people, and I think as a club our objective really is to give people an excuse to play, give people an excuse to socialise, and have people enjoy this wonderful game. That's what we're trying to do. So it's great to have the professional games, but there's a lot of activity within the club to have competitions going right through the handicaps so that everybody can enjoy the game too.
That's fantastic. I think the mark of any good professional staff and committee is getting everyone involved, every level of the game. So important.
No.
Well, and you can't forget the social aspect. You know, the Jimmy Dunn, the dance floor, the silver racket. Those are seminal events.
We know you don't forget about it, John.
Well,
you know, I would say you're social captain, no doubt. I think everyone saw that in you right away. Now, how good you've gotten at the game may have surprised a few people, but
Have I gotten better at the game?
I think so.
Okay.
You certainly will be. As soon as we get you back to the Big Apple. But yeah, I mean,
I would say coming out of quarantine, though, I feel more like a sergeant than a captain of the social game. I would say that I've the beer has stayed mostly in the fridge.
we'll watch some YouTube videos.
Well, there wasn't much else to do during the pandemic.
Yeah, I know, but I'm talking about getting your game back, your social game. This is.
We could make a movie like How Stella Got Her Groove Back, but it's about me and court tennis.
I was thinking exactly that. Well, that's a bad miss.
Oh, and he attacked it well. He might have even been able to leave that. It looked like it was heading towards the net.
Advantage.
Come on, Josh, make me look good here.
So we're playing one juice, just to remind the audience, one juice. And after that it's game ball, if it goes back to juice.
Good door.
All right, now we get to see our railroad, I'm guessing. Either that or the drag. Wow, impressive footwork from Tony there.
He has been watching a lot of soccer in the new pro shop here on the 3rd floor.
I wondered why they had a cable connection, you know. I knew Tony would look after himself a little bit. Smart man. So we're going to see railroad or drag.
Advantage 2.
Looks like railroad to me.
Receiver. Good door.
This is a massive point.
Here we go.
One of the bigger ones in the match.
Advantage Hollins. Oh, and he's put it on the back roof. Oh, it's gallery again.
Gave him too many opportunities there. Well played by Tony.
Game. 4 games to 2.
4 games
Four
to 2
games
here.
to 2. I had a teammate in college say, "You have to win the points you have to win." He was from Hong Kong, and that's very Confucian, but that was one of those points that Josh had to win.
I think so. I think Confucius would agree with that.
Team up.
Even Basho would agree with that one.
It may have also been Sun Tzu. I can't remember.
What was your
Set the line.
learning in school? Like, what did you major in? Because you're pretty all round smart, right?
I was a French and Italian literature major.
Oh, were you really?
I was, and I almost got a certificate in Mandarin Chinese. But I got to that level where they throw you in with kids who've been speaking it since they were born, and I couldn't quite keep pace.
You sound like a Jason Bourne type to me.
It was spy or social captain, and I picked obviously social captain.
I think he'd be good at both.
Getting shot in the back and falling off a yacht, I'd be excellent at that.
See, Josh is looking frustrated with himself here.
Yeah, he's definitely not happy with his play. Oh dear,
40-30.
that won't help. But quite unlucky there. Looked like it got him on the back of the shirt.
I think he's okay, but for the viewers, that hit the timbre above the dead-ons. Sorry, not the timbre, the
5
banda.
games to 2.
Right, 5-2. So Hollins has
Second.
got this wrapped up. Second gallery.
Yep. I think
Are you still going to hold? Are you still going to hold on to your 3 sets prediction?
you know I got to ride with it, right? You know, I mean, I'm not fair weather.
Okay.
I've been training with Josh. He's a good friend. So is Tony, but I think this either goes to 3 or I think we're going to see some good progression out of Josh for the next match. But like I said, though, Tony being the wild card here played really impressively thus far, which is hard to do at your own event. I gotta say, like it really is.
No, better than 2.
You know, he's got a bunch of guys asking where they can buy tight pants in Boston. people worried about their diets. And I asked them where I can get a coffee every 20 minutes.
Have you been to Pavement Coffee around the corner?
I haven't. I like to order ahead, you know.
They have a,
Keep it quick.
they have an excellent little coffee shop around the corner on Newberry.
I'll add them.
Second.
I want to say hello to Gilles Rosier, Giles Rosier. Exactly how to pronounce that. He says hello, Barney. And Ken Fortin said Barney needs to stay on the mic all week.
He definitely does.
It's kind of you guys.
The-
Well, I like to hear myself talk, although I don't have a headset on right now, so I don't know how I sound. But.
Well, we can't hear ourselves.
We can't hear ourselves.
Oh, okay.
This earpiece is fake. It's fake.
It's fake, yeah, exactly.
Fake earpiece.
See, that's a good shot from Josh there. Being able to penetrate on that backhand side, get the ball deep, generate racket errors, generate loose balls. I mean, that's kind of the game. And that's really what we haven't seen out of Josh thus far.
Mark and I were actually talking earlier about starting our own podcast. We're going to call it A View from the Data.
Oh, I like it. I like
Compete
it.
with Shankman and Ben.
I'd like to see those guys chime in. I mean,
It might be past their bedtime. I don't know when they go to sleep.
I didn't hear it.
man, these guys are so young.
30-40.
When's Greenwich
Oh.
Mean Time?
Leamington meantime. Shout out to Leamington. What a place. Both those guys, too. Great guys. Really, fantastic work that they've been doing over the last several months. And when a lot of us couldn't get anywhere near a court, I think they brought us to, a nice place, spiritually, at the very least. And just great foresight on their part. Now they've got, Peter Cipriano's got a great rackets version going on, too, on the podcast side.
He's doing a Rackets podcast?
Oh, yeah. Hammer time.
Get out.
Yeah, top notch. Really top notch.
So Dodgson got that last game.
Still in it.
He's still in it. So maybe your prediction's not too far off.
He could go on a run.
Now, for the viewers, coming up after this game, we've got the doubles game then, which is going to be interesting in itself. We've got Vergona and Dodgson versus Hollins and Riviere.
5.
That's going to be quite an interesting game in itself. Have you got any predictions for that, Barney?
I mean, again, we're in the coin flip situation, which is another reason why this event is just amazing. There's just so many tight matches. You know, you start throwing these things into RTO and you put in court familiarity and stuff like that. And everyone's within an eyelash of each other, and it's unbelievable. I mean, Camden definitely stands out a little further than anyone else. Not higher, but stands out more. But other than that, it's just who's going to play well on the day. But I'll tell you what, to see these two, I think, are going to be playing the doubles, and then those two playing the back, presumably. I mean, it's just very exciting. Camden's obviously spent a lot of time here. Steve's coming off surgery to his foot. But, Steve Vergona is one of the most accomplished singles, but also doubles players for the longest of times. He's got a unique sense of, particularly if he gets loose balls on the forehand, it's watch out. Very nervous. It's like being in a bad neighborhood.
The interesting thing with the doubles game will be that both sides will have a sort of stronger player and then I won't say a weaker player, it's not the right thing to say, but let's say a more junior player.
Yeah, I don't think, most people aren't disillusioned out here. The ones are definitely a few points better, and but you look at guys like this, they both have great volleys. They're not playing to their weaknesses by playing up. So, let's say Josh and Tony are allegedly, 3-4 handicap or something like that. Playing up, they might play closer to scratch than 3 or 4, which is interesting.
So that's coming next. For the viewers on YouTube, the feed will cut after this game, we'll have a short break and then we'll come back with the doubles game. So you might just have to refresh your page.
Looking forward to seeing you guys all week. I mean, again, there's so many great matches on the docket. It's hard to stay relaxed in here. I'm sweating a little already just thinking about it, but
How good has the coverage been as well? Ryan Carey's really taken this to a new level with the TV coverage.
I think when you look at contributions to the game of court tennis, there's names that jump out at you for different things. You know, you look at like a Rob Fay.
40-15 to the receiver. Second
All
gallery.
those years of being a great player and running various clubs, and you look at Susie Faulkner running the IRTPA, and you look at Jim Zugg, Bill McLaughlin, great figureheads. When you look at Ryan Carey's contribution to court tennis, there's really nothing like it at all. The fact that you're going to be able to watch this match through time, and maybe it's a comeback, maybe I'm right, who knows, but I just can't speak enough to not only the fact that Ryan puts all this time into it, but that he's constantly honing his craft. And having personally gotten involved with streaming a little bit in my own club, I mean, it's like speaking Arabic when you first start. So I bet Ryan does speak Arabic. He's kind of a little bit of a spy too. But
So we should say shukran to
exactly.
thank you to our friend.
Well, we know you're
Ryan.
listening, Ryan. Thank you for what you do.
Legend.
Meanwhile, Dodgson is not quite done. He's won the last 2 games.
That's tight again too. He's sneaky fast.
See Camden applauding in the side gallery there.
I thought that was Mayweather. My bad.
Camden is all on his partner right now. Tony's having a little
15-1.
drink, just having a little chat to Camden.
How's the water here in Boston? You guys got that good water, fluoride?
Dirty water.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's a famous song, Dirty Water.
Oh.
They play it at all the Red Sox games.
15 all. First gallery.
It's definitely produced some great players out of Boston over the years,
Vote.
Garrick Bates, Dave Tedeschi, Andy Roberts.
I mean,
Legends of the game.
Anuber.
Legends of Etchebaster.
Legends.
Brad Ersprong.
Brad Ersprong. I mean, one of the better looking Instagram pages out there, I'd say.
Go_speed racer _go.
Second.
We miss him. Again, another, not just producing great players, but great legends of the social side too. When I worked in Philadelphia, seeing all you guys for Lord Percival was always a highlight of my year.
Usually we won.
You guys did quite well, though. I remember a few, it's 8 in the morning and we're missing some players. But, that kind of tends to happen in certain venues. I have to say that I was probably a victim of that when I was a youngster as well. So we learned.
8 a.m. after the black tie. Tough match to play.
This is getting really tight, guys.
This is tight.
So that main wall tambour that he's looking for. Oh, wow. Tony.
That was a
Big out.
great get out of the corner. This is a great rally.
Unbelievable. Really, really top notch. So 40-15 here to Josh. Better than 3. Josh will, it'll be interesting to see what Tony serves here because he'll be looking for a cut volley if I know him. He hasn't been particularly successful chipping down the backhand side. He's going to look cut volley here. He's gonna get a high sidewall. Question is, can Tony get it tight enough to the back to take away his opportunity or not?
Lost it, fell better than 4.
Lost it.
30-40.
Oh, lost it. Close though, close.
30-40.
Little demi peak. Wow.
Oh, straight in.
Now, my
5-5.
hearing isn't that good. A lot of people attest to that, but that ball didn't sound so clean off the strings to me. So when things like that start going your way,
We've got a loose serve. Tony just losing his tightness a little bit. 5-5. Are you still going with your 3 sets?
you know it.
Here we go. Well, let's see if you called it right.
Oh, the old back edge of the last gallery, or tambour on the service side, as I like to call it. Yeah,
I've never heard that before. That's funny.
it's one of those Basque things. Josh got a little pep in his step here, huh? He looks good. His hair looks good.
He's walking with determination.
To the server.
Well, he was talking to himself a little bit earlier, and that seems to have stopped now.
I'll tell you what, if I saw a guy like this, timeout. Experimenting with the timeout rule. Be interesting to see how it gets used throughout the next few days.
They'll use it like the timeout right before a field goal. It's kind of just a psychological.
Yeah, definitely.
First gallery.
Yeah.
So what do you mean? How does the timeout rule work?
So I think each player gets a 2-minute. This is going to a third here. Each player gets a 2-minute timeout per set. So theoretically, that could be, I think, 3 2-minute timeouts per match. Now, I haven't seen it applied, and it'll be interesting to see how it does get applied, because it could be slightly controversial, this app.
Oh,
So it's interesting. I think I heard you
40-15.
talking about it, Mark, but Tony just plays your tambour like it's, Sunday, no problem. And all the rest of us are struggling around with it. But now Josh is finding a little success just missing that tambour and playing straight up and down the line. And thematically, like, that could be really important, particularly if we're going to see another set, which we are.
we are. There we go. A little dance from
6 games.
Josh there.
He went on a run. So the third set will start at 3 games all, for those of you following at home. And Ken Fortin is a big fan of yours, Barney. One of those Basque things. This guy has it all.
Ken Fortin, legend of the game. Probably like, we're really lucky to have people working in really important voluntary roles in our game. Ken Fortin, treasurer of the USCTA, has to deal with a lot of people complaining for money with no invoices and all that stuff, and he really just has the best personality. And coming from his background in the legal field too, no one's going to mess with him. But he's the sweetest guy and does a great job. And you guys are lucky to have him.
He's a pretty decent commentator too. I was listening to his stream this morning, and I thought he did a great job.
Yeah, really good. Both you guys in that Hollins Revere exhibition, fantastic stuff. That's a beautiful volley. Finding the outside of that backhand volley is kind of, a guy's got it when he's seeing the outside of that backhand volley. That's not something that comes with most people. And the racket's all backward too, so.
Mm-hmm. Well, so what does Tony do to stop this momentum that Dodgson's got going on. He needs to do something different, do you think, or he sticks to his game plan and doubles down?
Well, this is kind of interesting here, right? Like, he goes up quick. He goes up. He gets a couple free points. And what's he do? He's changed ends before that ball came to rest on the floor. And that's exactly, if it's me and we're not getting into technique, I'm looking to press forward. If we're running off a few points here, let's not let it cool off. So I think he's going to look to up the pace of the play here. If I'm Dodgson here, I walk out of the box,
To
though.
the server, chase the door.
The chase is the door.
Full.
You know, in many ways,
Second serve.
the chase is the door, but it'll be interesting to see. Like, Josh wouldn't mind losing this game at 40 love. What he will mind is if he fights all the way back and loses at 40-30, or even worse, gets the deuce. So I think, you know, this will be a nice cut your losses kind of thing here. Well,
15-40.
let's see.
So he won the chase. Takes it to 15-14. What can Tony do here? High serve.
That's a nice angle. He's getting Josh to back up. So this is the kind of chase you're going to see all week. That low ball hitting a yard high or slightly lower, shooting out to 5 to better than last gallery, say worse than 4, 5, 6, better than last gallery. I'm going to say that this is going to be the most popular chase
Better than
sort
5.
of the next few days. These guys are also fast, barring a couple of them myself, really.
Do you think Josh has got used to the court? That might be some of why he's got a bit more momentum as the game's gone on.
I think he's settling in a little, and I think Tony's not applying the pressure like he had been at one stage.
That's a lovely shot.
Very nice. Uh-oh.
Up on the penthouse.
Uh-oh.
Something's happened. Why's Josh holding his back?
Oh, man.
Has he hurt himself?
Is it his hand?
What did he do?
Appears to be
30-40.
So
rapping something with his left hand, potentially.
so I think he's running into the main wall and jammed his hand against it. I gotta say though that therapeutically the best way of fighting an injury is when you do win that point though. So, and if you don't have Janice at it.
If you're going to hurt yourself, you at least want to win the point.
Okay, so here we go. We're back at deuce here, and the guy who wins this game wins the match, in my opinion.
We'll take that one to the bank.
Oh, it's just
All right, advantage Hollins.
Remember we were talking about that heartbreaker fight all the way back?
You did say that.
Oh,
Okay. But wouldn't happen any other way, guys.
Game ball. Game ball.
Very exciting.
Tom Pickin giving Hollins a shout in the chat.
How are you picking?
Tom.
Oh,
So, again, you see the missed tambour underneath the grill rather than
4 games
the
to 3.
tambour.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the
That's
shot Rob Fay once told me is the best shot in the game. Unfortunately, I'm not good enough to hit it.
Underneath
So I
the
didn't-
grill. Cross
yeah,
court underneath
missed
the grill.
tambour inside. He's got a pretty good record, so.
Team up.
That's the thing above us. Once you get your handicap to a certain level, everybody can read the tambour pretty easily, and so missing the tambour becomes very important.
I think that's it. You know, there's definitely a bit of like finding your way when you come to a new court. That was the sort of the golf analogy Mr. Tedeschi helped us with so much. But think at this stage, like
Oh,
adrenaline's thumping. These guys are reading the tambour both pretty well at this stage. Obviously, you got to give the nod to Tony.
We may have had a hazard there. Hazard half.
Yeah, well marked.
Hazard half.
That was a good point for Tony there. Good pressure in. Cut volley. Got the racket error. There's the miss. Miss again.
oh,
That's well played.
Oh. Total right.
How's your movement these days? You were up in the gym pretty heavy for a while there.
My movement is good. I've been playing mostly squash the last 3 months.
We won't hold that against you, but
Dropped 11 pounds.
oh my gosh, maybe I should try. But like,
It was a nice break for my wrist. Easier on the ankle.
but you were going that powerlifting route for a while, weren't you?
I mean, I was lifting a lot. I wasn't powerlifting.
I was impressed.
Competing. Thank you. I'd say some of the size is still there.
Size match. Looking good.
Thank you. Appreciate that, Barney. We're very friendly here in the commentating box of the National League, where the score is 30-all. 4 games to 3 in the third set. Josh Dodgson leads 4-3. We've got 2 chases, hazard half, and worse than last.
well, all the neutral viewers out there will be very happy with the standard of this tennis. This is about as tight as it could get.
Wow, look at that guy. Oh, Tony.
Great shot, Tony.
All right, guys, let's go into 5-all, we think?
Worse than last. Yeah, I'm going to call 5-all.
It would only be right. That's a nice shot, though.
Deuce.
So the marker, Tim Chisholm from the Tuxedo Club, has not stopped sowing balls the entire time he's been marking. I don't know how he does that.
A little dive.
I think
Josh,
it's pretty impressive. It really is.
we casually referred to Tim as the St. Peter of court tennis. There was a mention of St. Peter earlier in the chat. And if there were a St. Peter of court tennis, well, it would be Tim Chisholm. Honest and trustworthy. Hardworking and dedicated.
Tim is an absolute legend. Tim was here for a few years. Then I can't remember. I think he may have been out of the working in the club world for a bit, but he's been at Tuxedo doing a great job for a long time now. And he himself, aside from being, again, really one of my idols, like growing up watching this guy, runs a great show.
Great shot, Tony.
We're lucky to have these kinds of guys in our game.
Now, apparently they've been very busy at Tuxedo through the COVID situation. A lot of the New Yorkers went out to their country homes in Tuxedo. And I was talking to the guys earlier. They said that they've been doing a lot of lessons. The court's been very busy.
Yeah, I think the country club has done really well in the COVID world, and it'll be interesting. I think the city clubs are starting to gather a bit of momentum, and as you see the relaxation of COVID regulations, you're going to see the city clubs start to really bang back a bit. But I'm sure Leon and Tim will be happy to scale it back to only 8 lessons a day one of these days soon. These guys really crank them out. Unbelievable. Tim said he was 77. I don't think he's that old, but For him to be doing the volume that he does is just unbelievable.
And he seems to have moved on from the Four Loko to a Pedialyte.
To each their own. Believe it or not, some of these guys, you know, they believe in all sorts of things. But there's a small contingent of professionals these days that like the Pedialyte for the anti-cramping side of things. So your eyes aren't deceiving you. It's going to become an issue.
I know that on the social side, it's used for the morning after quite frequently.
I didn't want to go there, but you would know.
I'm just looking down the side there. Is John Lumley? We've got the Philadelphia crew down the side in the side gallery now.
So again, like, who wins this match will have massive implications for all the teams. Like, we're in the thick of it here.
Everybody wants to know where this is going.
Great
That's a
force
that
down
was
the
a
line
great
from
force.
Josh.
Right into the date on.
Look it up. No, better than 3.
Tony's going to be playing doubles after this, correct?
Both these guys, I think. I think.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
So
But both these guys,
So these two guys will have done an hour and a half of singles and will be playing top-level doubles right after.
Yeah, good thing they're top-class world athletes with great fitness, you know?
The fitness is very important.
well, in fairness, Tony's been working a lot on his fitness. He comes up here, he lays it out on the court. He lays out a little gym circuit, and we'll be up here training quite regularly to as part of his preparation for this competition.
When we're this early in the week, we don't have that residual, the guys beat up from the day before, most likely. But what you do have, I think, on the tough side and the challenges of this, wow, great shot from Tony there. Is that the game?
No.
15:30.
I think what you do have here is when these guys finish this match, someone's obviously going to be disappointed.
15:30.
Someone's going
Jason
to
is
be
better
elated
than
briefly,
3.
and then it's right back to it. And I think that's the hard bit, is to know that this match is going to finish, the next one's going to pick up. And although the points aren't as valuable in doubles, I think you only get 1 point for a doubles win and 2 for a singles win. That 1 point will become really important by the end of the week.
40-15.
You know, they're going to be counting everything, I think, at the end of this. This is going to be a very tight few days. Very exciting.
So to recap for the viewing audience, 2 points for every singles win, 1 point for every doubles win, total of 5 points per match.
And is there a win bonus too? There might be an overall point. Yeah, there's
two
a
points.
2 point. So if you win 2 to 3 matches, you get 2 points. Or you win 3 live, you get 2 points as well. So, wow, up and down. Oh no, look at that.
Worse than 2.
It's not often you see that. It wiped its feet on the grill, but didn't go in.
Yeah, that was unbelievable.
Called by
Then
the marker, Tim Chisholm.
Tony was very quick to respond there. Set a 2-yard chase.
It's amazing.
40-30
It's
to
amazing
the
the
receiver.
shift in
Worse than 2.
momentums you get.
So
That's a great force from Josh. Well done, Tony.
that was a 2-yard chase.
Yep, Tony did really well defending the date on there.
Deuce.
Oh, we're back to deuce. Great. Or no, first deuce. Sorry.
First deuce.
Ooh.
Advantage Tony.
Advantage.
Great shot, Tony.
Nicely 5-4 here?
It's 5-4. So what do you think? It's going to 5-5?
5-4.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
So far, your predictions
your
have been
predictions
correct
have been
at
spot
every
on.
turn.
If you've got any horse bets, then I'll take your predictions there.
Yeah, so there you
Horse.
go.
Yeah, like if you could let us know which horse is doping before the race, we would be.
My partner Ted Ganaeus and I took the winning horse for the Derby, and it's a shame, but we'll keep the money. There.
How is Ted?
He's fantastic, absolute legend. Helps us a ton in New York. Also, essentially organizes Lot 12, which is part of the national sponsorship program, which really elevates professional purses throughout the year for this event, for the U.S. Open, for the National Open, the Ladies U.S. Open. I mean, just makes a huge difference. So, again, we're just so lucky in this small game we have that we have such big contributors, and Ted definitely is one of them.
He has a great Instagram feed too. I don't know if you've
He's got a
seen
great
that.
Instagram feed. I wonder if he just walks around taking pictures.
Mark, if you don't know, his Instagram feed is parked cars in New York, mainly Manhattan, but he chooses the right cars. You know, stuff that like an 80s era,
Quirky,
80s era
unique
BMW.
vehicles.
But he frames them perfectly, and usually in front of like a classic New York building. It's something out of a Charles Johnstone book.
Oh, well put.
Well, I think one of the wonderful things about this game is the characters that you get in it.
40-30.
That's for sure.
We had a guy, well, there still will be a guy in Melbourne, Jonathan Sear. Have you ever met Jonathan?
Yeah.
So he's come up with a few competitions with quite unique rules. I remember one of his competitions, somehow he engineered the handicaps so there was you got an extra quarter, whatever your handicap was. So in his competition, you could end up being 0.3 quarters.
That was match point for Tony, and Josh just served the best railroad that I've ever seen in the history of court tennis. To go back to deuce. So you get an extra quarter for.
So you could be 0 quarter 15, receive 3 quarters 15.
There's a lot of math there. I mean, good for him.
The scorers would normally be sweating more than the players.
I'm not just thinking about it. Sounds like one of them algorithms.
All right, Hollins has got a 1 yard chase here.
Good serve here. It's going to be tight.
Oh.
He'll take that, though. So, we got 1 yard in play.
Mm-hmm.
Dodgson will be very happy with that second gallery. I think, the way you got to think of the gallery chases is they're long-term plays most of the time. It's very rare someone's going to serve a railroad like Josh did there. So the gallery play is to achieve the superior geographic advantage of the service end. So the likelihood that you win a gallery,
All right, gentlemen.
not as high in this game.
1 yard.
But the fact that you're getting the service end is a positive. So Josh won't mind. 1 yard's going to be tough here. Let's see if he can put one on target. Bobble serve, a little deep, on target and in. That's huge. So right there. So now we're going to see about the second gallery. Getting into theories here.
So your 5 all's looking good at the
We
moment.
have advantage Dodgson.
Advantage Dodgson.
We're playing a second gallery chase.
He's going to get the railroad. So this is the main Deadon candidate here. Oh, good both.
I don't think Tony needed to hit that.
That was a great shot.
There we go.
Here we are.
It's 5 all.
Here we are, 5-all.
So
So the question is, how many times have these guys played each other over the course of their lives. They've known each other since they were like 10 years old or something. How many 5-alls have they played in that time?
We were saying that earlier. They're both Seacourt proteges.
Oh yeah, Seacourt established a, a lion's share. Well, we won't say lion's share, but probably the biggest dynasty of professionals in court tennis. So many guys come through Seacourt. It's kind of the Philadelphia of England, if you will.
Dodgson almost took out one of the cameras with that date on.
Ryan won't be happy with that. We'll hit his purse, Ryan. Don't worry. Josh makes a great get on the forehand there. Can't believe it was up, and then gives Tony an error on the backhand. Come on, Josh. Here we go. Come on.
We have a question from the gallery. How is it 40-40 with 2 chases?
I think just occasionally the marking app just Tim's in there. He's shown 12 balls since he started. He's drinking Pedialyte. It's tough to keep up. We've got Ford Loco. A lot of things happening.
Better than 3.
So we just encourage you to turn the volume up. If you're at work, they don't mind.
Parada64 says, "Come on, Josh." Possibly one of the Duffy clan.
Unsure.
Oh, Tony.
Tony.
Wow, we got a little fist bump on there. Just in case, everyone thinks, Mark, no offense, the English don't have tons of emotion and stuff like that. But here you start to see it a little bit. Josh has got the cheeks going, and he's got the fist pump.
40,
Well,
15.
normally
What's he
he's-
going to serve here? Better than 3. So what
Normally he's a cool
Better
customer.
than 3.
he's very cool customer.
I think he even did a little moonwalk there. He's doing a little
He's got moves.
practicing for TikTok.
Okay, so what's he going to serve here? Better than 3.
Railroad.
So if he goes, he's going railroad. He's going to try and
He is.
not let this get foolish.
Nice.
That's it.
Too much.
Game and match.
Oh, and Tony won't be happy with that.
Wow.
Now,
Wow.
So if I'm
Dodgson
4-6,
in 3.
6-5,
That's-
6-5.
Barney, you were correct.
Now, I hate to sort of to say these types of things, but what I will say is that Tony will be absolutely fired up for this double. So this is going to get very exciting. I would not go anywhere if I were you.
Well, I won't be going anywhere.
Of course
I'm
not.
here until 8.
Such a pleasure to be with you guys. Thank you.
All right.
Barney.
Great,
it was an
Barney.
absolute
Thank you
pleasure.
very much. You're a legend
Absolute
of the
pleasure.
game.
Great to see you.
all right, we're going to take a short break here, and then we'll be back with the doubles game right after this.